What's up guys, welcome back for another video. This week's video I wanted to do something a little bit different. So we're gonna do like a story time video this week. What inspired this video was basically I was in Texas hanging out with Maddie. If you guys didn't know, I was in Texas. So basically the day already started off bad, like when I first woke up. Like I woke up at like 3 p.m. I don't know, it was like maybe 4 p.m. My flight was supposed to leave at 8, so I had to like rush and pack all my stuff and put it in the car, and we were already running late, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna make it for my flight. Like we left literally 2 hours before my flight took off, and we were in San Antonio, so it takes an hour just to get like it's like an hour and 20 minutes to get from San Antonio to Austin to where my flight was. So we got there, I literally had 30 minutes to make my flight. I did make it somehow, luckily. But anyways, once I get on the plane, right before we're about to take off, pilot comes on and he says, we can't take off. There's gonna be bad weather in Chicago in the next 2 hours. So we're gonna be sitting here for 1 hour. So now my flight is delayed 1 hour. And also keep in mind, I've never flown with this airline before. It was kind of like one of those low-cost airlines, and it was a cheap flight, so I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just take this flight, you know, it'll be fine. And so, all right, so after the flight finally takes off after an hour, I'm sitting on this plane, kind of already mad. My flight's gonna get in so late. So once we end up landing in Chicago, the pilot comes on again and he says, we can't pull up to the gate. Because when we landed in Chicago, it was like raining and storming, and there was lightning everywhere. And I guess the baggage people can't take the bags off the plane if there's lightning outside. So we ended up having to sit with like 3-4 other planes in this holding area for like 40 minutes. So my flight was originally supposed to land at 11:15. We landed at 12 o'clock because of that hour delay, 12:15, something like that. So it's now 12:15. So then finally, after an hour of waiting on the plane, you know, people are starting to get irritated, like, oh my gosh, I just want to get off this stupid plane. I've been on this plane for over 3 hours now. We're about to pull up to the gate. He says, we have a gate. We're gonna pull into it. You know, the weather's kind of stopped. The baggage people can get the bags off. So as we leave, you know, we're going to pull into the gate. We stop all of a sudden again. And at this point, I'm like, why are we stopping again? The pilot comes back on the intercom thing and he says, another plane just took that gate. So we have to go all the way back to the tarmac like holding area place. There's still 3 other planes there. We wait there again. He's like, oh, it's gonna only be like 15 more minutes. And by this point, you know, people are like ready to just kill like the pilot and everybody on that plane. Like they're so angry, man. So after that 15 minutes passes, that really turns into like 30 minutes. So now we've been waiting for like an hour and 10-15 minutes. Just in Chicago, waiting on the ground, just sitting on the plane. Then the pilot comes on again and he says, sorry guys, we're contacting the airline right now to see what we can do because we still don't have a gate. We're waiting for another plane to pull away now. I don't know, it was just a crazy mess. Finally, after I landed in Chicago, this was an hour and 30 minutes after I landed. I didn't get off that plane until like 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like that was the worst flight of my entire life, like complete nightmare. That plane ride was only supposed to be 2 hours and 10 or 15 minutes. It ended up turning into a 6-hour flight with all those delays. I mean, it just goes to show, it wasn't really the airline's fault because, you know, obviously it's just weather permitted really, but I don't know, it was still an inconvenience. And you know what's funny? I actually just got an email from the airline today and they said, sorry about this inconvenience, blah, 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 and they gave me a $100 voucher if I ever were to fly with them again. So, I mean, it was a bad experience and you know, it wasn't that great, but I did get something out of it, so. Also, I'm gonna include another thing that happened. This is gonna kind of be like 2 stories in one, because that story's kind of short. So when I was in Texas, my mom had texted me and she said, Dan, our house almost burned down. And I was, you know, I kind of read the text and I was like, wait, what did you just say? Our house almost burned down? You know, I was kind of like freaking out, like what is she talking about? So then I ended up calling her, I'm talking to her on the phone, and she explains the story to me of what happened. My mom and my family were going out to church, right? My little nephew Gabriel, you guys have seen him in some of my videos, he was in my house at the time. He was the last person out, everybody else was waiting in the car, And I guess my mom or my sister or somebody in my house was cooking something for dinner, you know, because they're gonna go to church for 1 hour, come back, and it was gonna be cooked. Because, you know, a lot of families do that kind of stuff. You know, you just leave stuff in while you're gone for like an hour, cook it if it's safe. So anyways, my little nephew comes rushing outside. This is what my mom told me on the phone. This is the story she told me. My nephew comes rushing outside and he says, "It's smoking. The whole house is almost on fire." And my mom runs in. She's like, "Wait, what are you talking about? The whole house is almost on fire." So I guess I don't know what they were actually cooking. I didn't really ask. I think it was some type of thing with like nuts on the top, like macadamia nuts, or I don't know. I don't know what it was. But so they were cooking something. My mom comes in and she said that there was smoke coming out of the whole entire oven, and then there was also like flames coming out. So she went under the sink, she got a fire extinguisher, and she sprayed the whole thing down and put it out, thankfully. I wish I would have been here to see this. Unfortunately, I wasn't here to see that, but I don't know. It would have been kind of, I wouldn't say cool to see, but it would have been interesting to see my mom use a fire extinguisher, man. But so anyways, my family is so lucky that Gabriel was here. My little nephew was in the house, because if he wasn't here, my whole house would have burned down. The whole house would have burned down. That's crazy. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed these two little story times. I just wanted to explain these because I thought they were interesting, and I mean, that was literally the worst nightmare flight I've ever been on, and my house almost burned down. If you guys did enjoy this, man, please smash that like button, and if you guys are new, subscribe and leave a comment down below what you guys thought about this little story time video. And I will see you guys next Tuesday for another video. Bye.
I want to go down a water slide with a blanket with kitty hair on it.
I want to go down the water slide with Gabriel.
I want to go down a water slide, kitty haired blanket on it.
I want to go on the water